When your customer finally receives their order, the fabric isn't the first thing they touch. It's the packaging. Buyers routinely spend months obsessing over exact stitch tensions and cotton blends, only to treat the shipping bag as a rushed afterthought just days before the goods leave the factory. But packaging is a structural piece of your product. You pay for its material, and you pay to ship its physical volume halfway across the world. This chart maps out the unboxing expectation gap, plotting garment quality against packaging quality to highlight a core dilemma: balancing logistics efficiency with the customer's unboxing experience. If you drop a $50 knit into a low-grade plastic sleeve, you land here in the brand downgrade zone. The fabric is exposed to transit damage, and the perceived value of the garment drops before it is even worn. Overcompensating carries a severe financial penalty. Pushing heavy, high-end packaging onto a basic item forces you to pay international freight rates to ship empty space, eating directly into your margin. Delaying this decision until production finishes guarantees you will either overpay on freight or cheapen your brand. When you produce garments at scale, a single packaging choice is multiplied across tens of thousands of units on the factory floor. The baseline industry standard in hubs like Bangladesh remains the simple polybag. If you select a low-micron polybag, you hit the absolute floor for unit cost, and the material weight added to your shipment is practically zero. But that thin plastic comes with a physical reality. It is highly vulnerable to stretching and tearing under the sudden tension of warehouse handling. A torn bag exposes the fabric to dirt and moisture during transit. The buyer ends up with a damaged garment and a distinctly cheap first impression. To avoid this risk, buyers step up to premium options like rigid boxes or heavy-duty Ziploc bags. These thicker materials protect the garment and immediately elevate the perceived value, which is exactly the signal required to justify a higher retail price for an item like a premium hoodie. In our matrix, standard poly gives low cost but terrible protection. Premium options provide high protection but raise unit price. Look at the shipping volume footprint. Premium materials take significantly more space. You pay a premium to fit fewer garments into a container. Material thickness acts as a direct multiplier on both your brand safety and your international freight expenses. Moving beyond the material itself, the actual spatial dimensions of your packaging dictate your container efficiency. In this 3D cross-section of a standard carton, generic oversized bags create red highlighted areas, costly gaps of empty space. By customizing bag dimensions to exact garment footprints, these wasteful gaps disappear. The same box holds 20% more units, instantly dropping per garment shipping costs. The trade-off is time. Achieving this dense fit requires mandating strict folding protocols and approving physical samples early. At the same time, market demand is shifting toward recycled and biodegradable plastics, heavily driven by European Union compliance standards. Bringing back our matrix, we add a new column for eco-friendly packaging. These hit top scores for compliance and market appeal. However, they carry trade-offs. The bags are often cloudy, tear more easily under stress, and come with a higher per-unit price tag. Executing any of these options requires a logistical choice. Do you source the bags yourself, or do you have your primary garment factory bundle the packaging with the clothing order? Having the factory bundle it establishes a single point of responsibility. The packing process moves faster because they coordinate the arrival of materials internally. The compromise is that you sacrifice direct oversight of the packaging's sub-supplier, relying entirely on your garment factory's network. Securing spatial optimization and material compliance requires moving your packaging decisions from the end of the line to the very start of your sourcing timeline. Because of these competing trade-offs, there is no universal best packaging. Your strategy must strictly align with your specific garment here. The packaging selection protocol maps strategy across three paths. Premium buyers select rigid boxers, accepting larger shipping footprints for customer acquisition. Volume buyers use standard polybags, optimizing dimensions to eliminate empty space. EU exporters use sustainable plastics, but must test materials for hair strength. Regardless of your path, clear this must-approve scorecard before production, locking in bag type, micron thickness, print details, and folding method. Above all, demand a final packed sample. Verify the physical, packaged garment in your hands before the factory touches the bulk order. When you deliberately align your packaging to your product here early in the process, you turn a logistics vulnerability into a measurable strategic advantage.